Great evening, Facebook. My name is Jay Morrison, CEO, founder, and fund manager of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, a capital partner for the urban community owned by the people. And tonight I want to welcome you to Tulsa Talk Thursday. This is a special episode, Tulsa After Dark. I want you guys to be cool, relax, as we get into some real estate talk about how to invest in apartment buildings with TREF. That's right, it's TREF Life for Life. No, I'm playing. Anyway, just having some fun. Guys, we're gonna get into this. So every Thursday, last week, I wanna give a big shout out to my birth brother, my blood brother, Arthur Morrison III, who stepped in last week to hold us down as he is in training within our entire organization. All right, we have to start training up our heirs. So he was in training doing some communications for us last week. Art did a pretty good job. And happy birthday to Arthur Morrison as he just turned 29 years old yesterday. I mean, I watched this guy grow up. I changed his Pampers, literally, the poop and all. Listen, his first dunk in basketball, his first slam dunk, I was there. It was nighttime, Park Avenue Park, Somerville, New Jersey. Right, and so congrats and salute to my brother, college grad. He did it the right way. He followed my examples of what not to do and what to do, and has become a fine young man, entrepreneur. Has hit six figures in his own business, sports training, etc. Former professional athlete, pro ball player, etc. And just super proud of him, man. Good guy, really integrous, critical thinker, compassionate, all those good qualities, man. He is what I would want in a son when Ernestine gives me a son. So we'll talk about that another episode, another show. So anyway, guys, tonight we are talking about investing in apartment buildings with TREF. And I'm King Gene. If I could trouble you, or Hav, King Hav, if we can get a board, I actually want to teach a little bit this lesson, and I didn't prepare you guys. I'm so sorry. So guys, I'm going to teach a little bit. You guys will get a little bit of a Tulsa webinar, a free webinar. What I posted on my Instagram page, and I will take questions and answers tonight. But as an educator, as a businessman, business mogul, real estate mogul, developer, fund manager, etc., right? As an influencer, as an author, right? All these things. As a professional in our industry, the real estate industry, I'm talking about a true professional. I mean, I've been in this industry going on 15 years now. I see and I get frustrated by, I pay attention to social media, I pay attention to emails, I pay attention to the shout outs, the love in the streets, I pay attention to the community. I'm literally in underserved communities all the time. I'm pouring in. And I like to connect with the people. I like to connect where I come from. I just can't detach myself from, I'm just not one of the people. I'm just not one of those, you've made it, you're a professional, you're an executive, you're this, you're that, and then you just don't know what's going on in middle America, working class America, on the ground. So anyway, I hear the cries and woes of everyday working class people, of mothers who were like my mom, who was a 17-year-old mom, who had a bicycle to get us around, who worked their way up into apartments, into home ownership after 20 years, etc. And I just get the struggle of working class families, of lower socioeconomic families, of, etc. I can relate, and I refuse to unrelate. And so in that, I watch the woes of people talking about what they can't buy, what they can't do, what their credit's like, what their cash issues, and because we've been so uninformed and uneducated, we have talked ourselves out of all the opportunities of the things that we can't do, right? People with backgrounds, people with whatever your situation comes from. You dropped out of this, you went to jail for that, you filed bankruptcy for this, you bumped your head on that, your credit was dinged here. Come on in, it's cool. That's fine, yes, thank you. So I just want to tell you all, and so what I put on my Instagram is that owning apartment buildings, developing apartment buildings, buying apartment buildings is not rocket science. I look at the comments and people make it seem like, even with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund and our fund that has raised these millions of dollars right? In our initial stage, we're nowhere near our max of 50 million, which we should be. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But people make it seem like because they're uninformed and uneducated about real estate and underexposed, like buying an apartment building or buying an office building is really like some hard stuff. Like they really like, oh, well, what's he gonna do? And it's like this thing, like it is not, we good? Am I your way? It is not hard stuff. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you what you need to know. I'm gonna tell you how you guys can own more assets with us. And I'm gonna tell you why it's a shame that we have not maxed our fund out yet, right? So we're gonna talk about that tonight. I don't plan on being, and I'm gonna open up for some question and answers. My intention is not to be too long, as I have had a very, very long week, a lot of speaking this week, over 36 hours of lectures this week. And you probably can hear a little bit of my voice, but I'm still passionate, still hungry, still everything. Can't use those, right? I can use the green one because it's a flip chart. I can't use a permanent marker.
Are these permanent?
Those are permanent markers, brother.
Oh, wow.
Permanent markers. Can't use them. I'll use the green. Let's see if the green works so they can see the green. So guys, I'm gonna hop right in, and I was thinking at home, right? I take this stuff personal and serious. I don't mean the personal attacks, the goofy, weirdo personal attacks on me as a fund manager. And part of my sweatsuit today, I'm comfortable today. I've been working hard this week. And this is my Action Beats Ambition King J shirt made by JMA student, coaching client, and partner, Queen Natalie Tinker. Thank you, Queen. And this shirt glows in the dark. How about that? Gene, can we cut the lights out real quick? I'm gonna show you my glow in the dark shirt. Listen, I waited my whole life to have glow in the dark shirts. Can you? A little bit. Hit that one. Boom. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. King J Action Beats Ambition. Custom glow in the dark. All right, lights on. Custom glow in the dark shirt, courtesy of Queen Natalie Tinker, one of our JMA alumni. So, all right, guys. Before I get to the apartment bill, so here the title is basically I want to say, I gotta say easy, but I don't want to say easy and try to oversimplify it. I'm not trying to, like, you know, hype anybody up or gas anybody up or not have level expectations, right? There are complexities to developing real estate, owning apartment buildings, flipping apartment buildings, developing apartment buildings, etc. But it's just not rocket science, right? So what I'm saying is that I'll just say it this way. We all can own apartment buildings. We all can, and I'm going to show us how and tell us how. So, for those on the call, you'll hear this. For those watching, you'll see this. I don't know about you. Maybe I was just ambitious as a child. Like, no one in my family owned real estate. I mean, no, my grandmother did own her house growing up, but that was like everybody's house. But no one owned any kind of, you know, major real estate assets, any developments, any investment properties. But I remember growing up looking at apartment buildings. I wished I could have owned them. I wish I could have owned buildings. It was like a fleeting thought, but for many of us, whether we were young or teenage or 20s or adults, whatever, how many of you have one day thought in your life, I'd love to own an apartment complex like that. I'd love to own a high rise like that. Like, just thought it. And then immediately told yourself you couldn't because that must cost a lot of money. You must need some credit to do that. And you just talked yourself out of the opportunity and you never got, and so I'm gonna get into my lesson. It's 3 simple things you need to be effective in any real estate. And for those who don't know who I am, what you all should understand, and for my supporters and my partners who are not equipped enough with the information on Jay to be able to kind of clap back and defend my integrity and defend your decision to partner and invest with me, you have to understand that I've been in this industry almost 15 years. I started at 25 years old, right? As a loan officer making 30%, driving an hour to work to learn how to push papers and to be able to acquire, and to be able to originate loans, learning every loan program from FHA to VA to 203K to conventional, unconventional, stated income, no doc loans, low doc loans, FICO scores, secure credit, cards, secured loans, building credit, I dove in to the mortgage industry. But while I was doing that, I had already acquired my first single family home, my first 2-family home, my first 2-family with 4 acres, my first flip, right? I was already investing in real estate at 25 years old while learning in the mortgage industry, working my way from 30% commission to 50% commission to 70% commission to managing 2 mortgage companies, getting a 90% per commission and overrides on top of every agent under my company by 27 years old. Owning millions in real estate, literally multi-millions in real estate my first 2-3 years in the industry. Cashing out, making income for my company over $1 million my first few years in the business. And on top of that, while I was doing the mortgages, managing the branches, investing in real estate, flipping deals, wholesaling deals, building houses and all that, while I was doing that, I also was a licensed real estate agent. It made nearly 6 figures my first year as a real estate agent, while as a loan officer and a branch manager for a mortgage company, while as an investor. This is 15 years ago. This is like my young life. This is light work. So people are, and mind you, that's my beginning. This is not the first African man in America hired by prominent property Sotheby's International Realty, NBC celebrity realtor, Today Show's real estate expert. All of real estate I consulted on, coached on, advised, developed, built, managed. We're talking about all of that to best-selling books. Lord of My Land, bestseller in real estate and mortgages. I know some things. I've done some things. So my point is, it's not the boast. I'm saying that I can see where the questions come from if you don't understand the credibility. It's not just that I've been the biggest real estate house flipper, the biggest real estate developer, it's not that. It's that I've dove in and have been very successful. Coldwell Banker, I have the emails. Coldwell Banker, their communications director, right, their chief communications director, asked me to be a brand ambassador for Coldwell Banker for North America. They recruited me and asked me to be their brand ambassador. Coldwell Banker, the real estate firm, asked me to be their brand ambassador for North America in the year 2000, I believe it was 13 going on 14. Or 2014, one of those years. I'm saying that I've been doing this for a very, very long time, understanding the ins and outs and nuances of this industry, right? And the understanding word is so key. Because why I'm saying that this stuff is easy to me, I get it. It's like second nature to me. Honestly, I got so bored with real estate. You want to have a real story? I got so bored with real estate because at a time, I can't even explain to you just how much money and how easy this industry has been to me, that I want to challenge myself, and I got into other businesses. I started a record label. I started an entertainment company. I started a staffing agency. I got liquor licenses. I developed a restaurant. Like, I just got into other stuff, school uniform collections. I got bored with real estate. So I like to challenge myself. I'm someone that likes to do things at a high level. And so just saying that to say, when I look at our opportunity at the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, right, so sitting in front of me is some landscaping designs. I won't get into the details for our Legacy Center. Here's some of our first renderings of the Legacy Center, AKA the Black House, right? These trees won't be here, don't worry about that. That's why we got our landscaping designs. And I have our construction drawings. I have the renderings of the front, right? So you on the phone can't see this, but you'll see it on the live stream on the Facebook replay. This is a little sneak peek of our Legacy Center, our development. Do you all understand that while I just want to talk my talk real quick. This is the Black House film and TV production studio at the Legacy Center, our 30,000 square foot building that sits on 2.6 acres of land that we bought for $2.1 million, that appraised for $2.5 million, $400,000 of equity that we're developing in an opportunity zone called East Point, Atlanta, Georgia, 5 minutes from the world's busiest airport, Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. I'm talking that talk. But anyway, while doing this, right, while developing this monstrous building, We acquired 2 new assets while internationally in Ghana, Africa, building on some social platforms. Still acquired 2 new assets while developing this building, all while managing the entire inner workings of the fund, all while managing one of the top 15 fastest growing education companies in the country, the Jay-Morrison Academy, all while still lecturing, speaking, doing corner classes, being a husband, being a dad, all at the same time. And hosting these Tulsa Talk Thursdays. I'm saying this is, right now we are underwriting, literally, I swear, it's the truth. Right now we are literally underwriting over $300 million of deals. Does that mean all the deals are gonna close? No. What I'm saying is that our team, under my guidance, under my instruction, under my training, under our processes, is literally looking at the borrowers, the opportunities, the deals, the terms, all types of assets. Our next asset, which we're gonna get into our lesson in a second, our next asset that we've just gave a verbal commitment to and we're securing our LOI is over 100 units of apartment buildings in New Jersey. That'll be coming very, very shortly. We just signed an LOI for a $100 million+ deal. First time I've even mentioned it publicly. Behind the scenes, you will be amazed at what's going on behind the scenes. And all of it will come to the light. As our previous 14-unit acquisition that was acquired on December 28th that I'll be going to visit hopefully this weekend in Louisiana. Or our $500,000 flip that's gonna bring the fund in over a 19% return or even greater IRR in New Jersey. It's happening right now as we speak. Every day while y'all see me on the gram and doing selfies and showing my waves and going in and out of doing everything I do, supporting my wife and her businesses and everything else, there's still development and construction going on as we speak. Sometimes as you sleep, as you work on Saturdays, as you take care of your kids, as you shop for liabilities or legacies, our fund is working for you. All this, you know, if you don't know, you wouldn't know. You don't even understand the inner workings, the complexities, the level of detailed meetings, conversations that has to happen when you're developing a 30,000 square foot office building and studio and the landscaping and the parking and the permits and the ordinances and the fencing and the security and the elevators and the HVAC and everything else. And you're doing it all while still raising capital, still meeting compliance, still acquiring other assets, still underwriting $300 million in deals. This is what's happening in real life. I don't got to go on the gram every day and say it. I don't have to like publicize every single move that we make. That's not that smart. That's not wise. And I'd be a foolish fund manager. I'd be a foolish partner of yours if I advertised every single move that we made. You should fire me. So there has to be some level of trust of my competency and my commitment. And again, it's not about any personal attacks on me. I think it's the misunderstanding of this 3 steps I'm about to show you right now. Here's the misunderstanding, right? All you need to know. So before I start, all those on live stream, I need you to answer this question, right? Facebook, make sure you're sharing and you're commenting. Make sure, getting it out there. Don't be stingy. Instagram, if you guys can share as well, please share. And I wish we could take answers on the phone. I want to take 5 answers on the phone real quick, right? So I want everybody to answer this question. On live stream, if you're on the phone, press *6. I want everybody to answer this question. What are the 3 things that you think you need to do real estate? When I say do, I'm using my hand quotes. I mean invest in real estate. I mean own real estate. I mean develop real estate. I mean economically benefit from real estate. What 3 things do you believe that you need to effectively invest in real estate? Everybody go. Answers now. Facebook, Instagram, phone, Jazz. We don't want to take nobody's questions right now. All I want is there 3 answers. What 3 things do you need, or Queen Jazz or Queen Tam, excuse me. What 3 things do you need to invest, develop, own, or benefit economically from real estate? What 3 things do you need? I need answers now. And then I want to give you my lesson.
Money.
You said money on the phone?
Yep.
All right, what else we need? Somebody else? Any one of 3 things, or all 3?
Credit, money, and resources.
All right, we got money twice. We got credit. We got credit twice. We got resources. What else?
Russell says education, relationships, and action.
We got education up there. We got relationships. We got action.
Credit, cash, and knowledge.
Credit, more money, more credit. We got some knowledge and education. What else? What 3 things do we need to do real estate at a high level? When I say do, I mean invest, I mean develop, I mean benefit economically.
Buyer, seller, me.
Buyer, seller, me. Anyone else?
Vision.
Vision.
Time and mentorship.
Knowledge.
Time and mentorship. More education or knowledge.
Yep. More credit, more money.
More credit, more money.
Credit.
More credit, more money.
Action, mindset, persistence.
I see another action. Okay.
Mindset and persistence.
We got mindset, persistence,
Networks, hustle,
network, hustle.
opportunity, systems.
All right, we got hustle is another action. Network, that's the resources.
IG Sam.
What you got, IG? Anybody on the phone? *6 to hop in the queue and jot your answer. This is what 3 things do you need to acquire apartment buildings, to flip apartment buildings, develop apartment buildings, or do real estate at a high level?
Strategy, plan, a team, real estate license, someone said.
All right. So with those contributions, thank you. What's that again? Credit and money again?
Yeah.
I got you, King. Thank you. And for those who want to ask me questions later, just press *6 again to get back in the queue. We're going to end this exercise right now. All right. So I want to tell you all from my near 15 years experiences in real estate as a developer, as an investor, as a mortgage branch manager, as a author, thought leader, educator, right? Fund manager, all these hats and functions that I have worn throughout the industry and done well. What you need, and we're going to break it down to like this, is you, hold on. UPF. And I'm going to explain. And we're teaching this in our new Jay Morrison Academy RBC curriculum on real estate, business, and credit. I'm scrapping all my old courses, and we are bringing out a whole new curriculum. That's why my voice is half hoarse. I literally taught, between my partner and myself, Will Roundtree, we literally taught on 6 100-page flip charts, over nearly 600 pages of lessons, over 36 hours of lessons and lectures on all the niches and nuances. And what inspired me to do it was seeing how many deals and how much real estate conversation comes across my desk and across my plate and across my social media, my emails, and just coming and goings. We are missing a big opportunity because we're so underinformed and so uneducated. And I just, again, a Tulsa Fund is a way for us to passively invest together. I still encourage everyone to learn how to do it for their family, themselves, to build their legacy. But what I have realized, and mind you, most of my team in their own rights is smarter than me. Most are more educated than I am. Most have been through more college, master degrees, etc. than I have, right? I have really bright people around me with really great experiences. But when it comes to this right here, these real estate assets, real properties, evaluating deals, negotiating deals, understanding terms, right? Like that process, there's very few do it well as I. Very, very few. I get it. I don't know what it is from my former life to my current life and everything in between that made me think how I think and look at opportunities in real estate and property and business how I do, but I do. And so what we need to understand, the 3 things you need, maybe a couple might be mentioned here, but the biggest misconception as we see is money and credit. everybody stops. They think they need money and credit. It's not money and credit. You literally don't need money and credit to buy apartment buildings, to flip real estate, develop real estate. You don't. You don't. If anyone tells you that, they're a lie. They're misinformed. They don't know enough. That's the point. What you do need, oops, it happens. What you do need is understanding. And this is my first time using this word in regards to describing any kind of financial prowess, strategy, knowledge, education, etc. I intentionally didn't put education. I intentionally didn't choose the word strategy. I kept the S out of here. I wanted to put S and strategy in here, but I feel like education, knowledge-based strategy is so overused, it's so oversaturated, it just don't mean nothing to you. To hear, oh, education, oh, everybody says that. No, what's missing is you have no understanding of the industry. You have no, I'm not picking on anyone. What I'm saying is that the average person who critiques our fund, the average person that wants to invest for their family, either in our fund or on their own, the average person that goes to pursue or look at any kind of real property, right? Real estate is called real property, real estate assets. They just don't have an understanding of the business. And I can't blame them because they didn't learn it K through 12. They didn't learn it with their PhDs and master's degrees in college. And most people didn't get it effectively at home. Even the people that grandfathers or uncles or fathers owned a ton of real estate, those are the most uninformed people, especially in my community, where your parents or grandparents owned all these assets but never told you how to do it. Or they just got lucky or got it off the muscle, was inherited to them. Whatever happened, we do not pass the information down. And it's not just the information or education, but it's the understanding. How does the business work? See, I understand how to look at every single deal. Does not matter if it's a commercial building, a hotel, a hospital, farmland, no matter what it is. I have a deep enough understanding of the business because of my almost 15 years in the business and so many different verticals and so many different paths of financing, of investing, of developing, of building, of just all of it. Being a realtor, selling, brokering, right? Educating, teaching. I just understand the business. And for you to be effective in buying apartment buildings, you don't need any money. You don't need any credit. You will need resources. Mind you, you will need some of these things, but the top 3 things that you need to pull it off, and then some of you are saying, how? How can you buy an apartment building? How can you buy this with no cash or no credit? So I'm going to give you a small little tip and lecture for those who have not been, who see me all the time. You either like me, inspired by me, impressed by me, or you just, whatever the heck it is, but still not taking the time to be educated, informed, or mentored by me through our school, through our institution, and the many, many super robust and super relatable and concise courses that we have. If you had an understanding of the business, what you would understand is this. I said you do not need money and credit. That is a fact on fact. Go tell your mentors that. You, the individual, do not need any credit or capital to invest in real estate assets. But with your understanding, you would understand and know that you, the individual, can own a company or manage a company that purchases the real estate assets, buildings, not even a house. We're talking buildings right now. That you can go buy a 107-unit building or apartment complex with you, the person, inputting no capital or no credit by using proper syndication strategies and leveraging companies the proper way. In syndication, management, operation, facilitation, organization, development, being a chief maestro, chief quarterback, chief point guard, and an executive to make this happen. If you had that understanding, you wouldn't even be thinking the things you're thinking. You would know better. But if you had that understanding, you would also, yes, you would know syndication, but you would also understand that no one will ever participate in your company with you if you have a lack of knowledge base, of strategy, of expertise or experience, and no one's ever going to believe in investing into you or your idea as a capital partner, credit partner, or anything in between to go acquire any asset if you can explain to them what an ROI is, what a cap rate is, what a purchase ratio is, what a LTV is, what a debt to income ratio is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What is a phase one? What is an ARV appraisal? What is a BPO? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you have no understanding, not just knowing the definitions, but how do they all play into the development and the opportunity? What is an escrow? What is a balloon payment? What is a prepayment penalty? What are points? What are origination fees? What are underwriting fees? What's a survey? What is encroachment? What is an easement? If you don't have no understanding, you can't play this game. What's wrong with you? You want to go out and buy buildings and flip houses. Like, y'all wonder why I can be. Listen, I understand the business. This is light work. That's the whole thing. I'm like really puzzled and amazed out here. People are making this big deal out of this is light work. I just don't think the world understands. Like, I think people miss it because there's so much happening on social media and so much happening just in the world. And like, people don't understand why I say it's light work for me. If I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood with a silver or bronze spoons in my mouth, and I went to a nice high school and graduated, went to a nice college, and got out of college and worked for my dad's business or some other's business, got into real estate and did this, it still will be light work. But the fact that I grew up below the poverty line, the fact that I dropped out of high school in 11th grade, the fact that I landed in prison at 18 years old, facing 3 years of life in prison, the fact that I beat prison to go to work release, left work release to go back to prison, to go bail out, to then go to another prison, to then go to parole, intensive supervision parole, to go on house arrest, to go on probation, to go to every single part of the institutional system, to then go back to the streets, to leave the streets, to get into real estate, and to figure all this out starting in 2004, going on 2005, when my 24, going on 25-year-old self did not even know how to send an email. I started at 2005 to date, from 25 to 38. This is what I've done. No college education. Couldn't even send an email. So my point being is not one, I give God glory. I'm not being bodacious or braggadocious. My point being is that the hustle, the ambition, my critical thinking, my intellect, my brilliance, my whatever you want to call it, is displayed by my body of work and my ability to perform under all types of controversy, all kinds of situations, all kinds of obstacles. For me to even be in the seat to create the first black real estate crowdfunder in the history of the country says a lot about how I think, how I move, how I focus, and how I perform. And so I treat our investments as partners the same way I would treat my own. Even more cautiously than I would treat my own. And I'm going to get into the capital raise thing in a second as I finish up my last two letters. You need an understanding of the business in order to be effective in the business and do it at a high level. You just need an understanding. You cannot think to develop or own apartment buildings or flip homes without understanding the business. That's foolish. You got to understand the financing, understand the underwriting. You got to understand the processes. You got to understand the evaluation tactics. You got to understand how to build the team. You got to understand the corporate law. You got to understand the closing process. You got to understand the post-closing process. You got to understand how to interview your contractors. You got to understand, like, you need understanding. And I'm willing to teach you the understanding, not on this platform, but in our school, the Jay-Morrison Academy. I'm willing to teach you the understanding and teach it to you more affordably, more accessibly, and more relatably than anybody else that you will get in the country. Not just me, my entire staff, all of our instructors, our entire curriculum built for you. Now, outside of you having an understanding for yourself, the next thing you need to do this kind, develop high-end, large-scale commercial apartment buildings, real estate, while developing and running other businesses and living your life, the other thing you need is patience. Most investors, developers, they rush into the business, they rush into the industry, they rush and make stupid moves because they're trying to impress someone. They're under the gun to make payments on money. They owe money or owe bills and got to get it done quick. And it's rush, 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 rush. And when you rush in this business where there's so many nuances, there's so many factors that affect every single deal, that's where you screw up. That's where you go over budget. That's where you get undercapitalized. That's how you get into foreclosure. That's how you get into binds, is by rushing. So many folks say, wait, Tulsa Real Estate Fund had $12 million of capital commitments and they only purchased one asset. Well, now it's 3 assets, but that's not enough. And then it'll be more because next month, you'll see more assets being acquired. But what you understand is that it takes months sometimes to acquire one asset the right way. Or I could be a foolish fund manager and go rush and acquire an asset to shut some people up who didn't even invest into the fund. And now we have unproductive, unperforming assets. And so you need patience. You got to underwrite. When I say underwrite, it's screening, it's vetting, it's doing your due diligence. You got to underwrite the deal and the potential sponsor. You got to see if there's a capital partner involved, if you're loaning capital or you're doing a mezz deal, mezzanine financing or gap financing or construction loan or whatever, or bridge loan or whatever it might be, first mortgage, second mortgage, promissory note, leveraged by collateral, whatever that is, all of which I have an understanding of. But whatever that is, you have to be able to do it methodically and patiently and diligently and making sure you have double dotted every I and triple crossed every T. Especially when you're sitting on the seat as a fund manager to a real estate crowd fund, the first black-owned real estate crowd fund that gets more scrutiny from black people than anyone else in the world. You must make sure you double dot every I and triple cross every T and make sure that you are being effective in your decision making in our whole entire team, because just not my reputation on the line, it's my team as well. But I have the fiduciary responsibility as the fund manager. So you need patience, especially when you're looking to acquire apartment buildings that have 100+ tenants. That means there's 100+ apartments. Sometimes that means 200+ bathrooms, roofs, plumbing, electric, kitchens, leases, your profit and loss statements, your Schedule E's, your financial reports, your performers, the resumes, the environmentals. Like, these are the things if you had an understanding, you wouldn't even be talking about what's taking so long, because you would know better and know that you cannot do real estate in that capacity. And again, this is not a defense conversation. It's really a motivational, hopefully inspirational conversation for those who don't know and aren't in the know, that you don't know what you don't know. So therefore you can't have an understanding of it. So you're misunderstood. Or you begin to misunderstand. Next, out of understanding, patience, the next biggest thing you need to develop, own, buy, flip, hold, whatever, and have a profitable or fruitful economic interest in commercial real estate or apartment buildings, etc. Next thing you need is focus. These are the 3 biggest things you need. If you have an understanding of the business and you're patient, you're not rushing and running through the business, you have nothing to prove to nobody, and you are focused, you are laser focused on the opportunities at hand and the deals, you give yourself an optimal opportunity to win. You'll always be able to get the cash, always be able to get the credit, you'll always find the resources, right? It's great to have the vision and so many of the other things that we mentioned, but the understanding covers that all. If you have an understanding of the business, you'll know how to find the resources. You know how to market your business. You know how to go to networking events. You know how to position yourself. You know how to give the right perception of your business. You know how to posture in negotiation. You understand your negotiation tactics. You know negotiation non-negotiables. You know not to tell yourself no in any deal. You understand a broad variety of terms and opportunities between you and any sponsor. You understand what a sponsor is, a syndicator is, an operator is. And then you understand how to track it all and measure it all. And how to verify everything and assume nothing. It's all part of patience and all part of focus. And that's looking at every angle to make sure no stone is unturned and make sure there's no way that, or you've limited your risk. There are no guarantees in investing. Don't get it messed up. But our goal is to minimize and mitigate and limit our exposure and our risk. That's all we can do, is make sure that we are investing from an astute and wise enough manner that we are limiting our exposure and limiting our risk the best that we can do. But when you do that and you're patient about it, you have an understanding of the business, and you focus on that limiting exposure making sure, okay, we can't get burnt here. We can't get burnt here. Okay, we got an out clause here. Oh, we got equity here. We got collateral here. Personal guarantee here. We can perform here. We got a balloon payment here. We got origination fees here. When you understand that whole scope and you really, really focus and dialed in, as I am at this phase in my young 38-year-old life, then you can perform and produce and do what we are on track and set to do, where you'll see throughout this year, as 2019 just started, 3 assets last year, just getting started. June 1st, our IPO, 6 months and running. And now we're going on to this year again, where we just signed a operating agreement for a $100 million plus project. I'm not operating agreement, but a letter of intent for a $100 million plus project. And where we have our verbal commitment and soon LOI on 100 plus units. Also, while there's still that collective, including those deals, 300 million in underwriting. And that comes to the fact that our fund has raised some millions. It's about 12 million plus of capital commitments. Of actual capital we've seen, I believe it's been closer to 8 million. I don't have the exact number of actual capital that has come through outside the commitments. But I put some on Instagram this morning that's really interesting. Then we'll go to question and answers. But I put some on Instagram that's really interesting. And we're going to do it. Watch. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Listen, I talk ish. I don't even talk that much ish. I'm just starting to get back to. I used to talk ish. I stopped at like 2011, 12. But I'm about to get back to it. And I'm going to keep backing it up. But I'm saying talk ish and talk junk or talk smack in a positive way. But what I'm saying is that what we say we're going to do, we're going to do. Like 4 years ago, I said we're going to do the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. We're going to do group economics. We're going to build Black Wall Street. Like I said, we're going to do a corner class. Done. Like I said, we're going to shut down Houston's restaurant. Did it. Like, we're going to do the things that we profess and that we believe that we're going to do. So I said to myself, hey, if there were 50,000 of us that have a discretionary, spare, extra, ain't really going to sweat it, $1,000. I'm not talking about your last $1,000. I'm not talking about your kids' milk money. I'm talking about an extra discretionary $1,000. That's $50 million that we can raise practically overnight. And Tulsa Real Estate Fund Instagram has 100,000 plus followers. My personal Instagram has 250,000 plus followers. My wife, 150,000 followers. Just on Instagram, let alone email list, Facebook, etc. So we have all these hundreds of thousands of followers, but yet we have $12 million of commitments and about, I think, a little less than 8 million on the conservative side, say a little less than 8 million that hit the bank. But if just 50,000 of us, out of all these hundreds of thousands of followers and supporters and people on the email base and everything else, if 50,000 of us who had discretionary $1,000 just went ahead and had trust and had faith and believed in the opportunity and the process and what we can do together. And I know it just looks good if somebody saying, well, what's the numbers? I'm no fool. You again missed the understanding lesson. I don't do stupid things. I don't do unwise, unthought of, not critically thought out. I just don't do dumb things. For the most part. Now, my personal life, I might get a little crazy, but business, I'm pretty sound. So my point is, what we're creating, we all could be a part of, but there's something in us because more people have gotten the message than have invested. And we'll keep our capital in institutions that give us 0.001% and have no social impact. We get no ownership of the business. I'm not saying just invest with me. I'm saying partner. Partner equals ownership. Own with me. With us. Own equity. Own real estate. And get your 8% preferred return for your investment of partnership and get your share of 50% of the profits. What company is doing that? But then we'll go to the mall and have no problem partnering our money with Nike and iPhone and Apple and Android and Galaxy and Sony and Samsung and Gucci and Louis and Hermes. We have no problem partnering there. We have a problem partnering when it comes to something historical and epic. Historical, you're part of, this is just one fund. Now let's go do this 20 times and go raise a billy and own it and have power and control together. And then someone says, well, but you're going to be the manager. You're right. I was the one that thought of it and put it together. It wouldn't be here if I didn't put it together. That's the point. But guess what? All the banks and institutions that your capital is currently in, they have a manager. That luxury automobile you have, the owner of that company is the manager. Guess what? That sneaker, that shoe, that belt, that red bottom, that electronic, that gambling habit, that whatever is owned by somebody who was smart enough to put it together and pull it off, and you patronize and support their business, and you have no problem that they're the CEO and they're the manager. When the last time you went to the Apple store like, well, wait, hold up. If I buy this Mac laptop, that's going to be an extra bonus for the manager. We're raising our economy. This is something we can all own together. And here's the thing. As the fund manager, as the founder, as the CEO, I'm taking on the legacy risk, the reputational risk. You think it's light work, but it's not. I got to sleep with this. I got to think about what this means to my last name and my family, to my daughters, to my wife, to my mother, to my brother, to my sisters, to my grandmother, to my name in the history books. Did Jay Morrison go out and galvanize the community and go make legendary impact? Did he really do what Garvey did or attempted to do or wanted to do, or Malcolm or Martin or whomever or whatever? Or did you have to have a broken understanding on life to think that I came this far in life to ruin my life, to take my freedom, to ruin my reputation and my legacy, to screw it up by doing something unscrupulous in this position. That one, I have legal compliance and legal ramifications to. This is so sad that an influencer in our community I sat with, and it was a joke. He didn't per se mean harm by it, but said, oh man, you raised all that money, you ain't run off yet. I was like, dang, bro, this is what you think of your brother? I mean, in a joking way, but if I was Caucasian or Asian or something else, and I raised a bunch of money, would your comment then be to, hey, you ain't run off yet? But because it's your brother, all of a sudden, we got all the cloudy maybes and question marks and yellow signs and I don't knows. What about me in this office every day with all these 36 staff members who support me in feeding my family, and I support them in feeding their family, who we love on each other? What about this man that gets on his knees and prays every night? What about me, this man who just got married last year, takes care from day one, both his daughters? What about me says that I'm going to go mess the bag up? That I'm going to ruin our opportunity? That I'm going to disgrace my family and my name? I take on a reputational risk of managing, hopefully one day, $1 billion in assets. I want it. I want it for our community. I want the power and control for us. I want the responsibility. Sign me up. I can't say I'm willing to live and die for my people and fight on the front line during Alton Sterling, fight on the front line during Freddie Gray, fight on the front line during Otis Byrd when he was lynched in Mississippi. Demonstrate, protest, stand up, prison reform, and everything else, but then shy away and bow out when it comes to economics and real estate. No, this is my lane. What's up? I want it. Try me out. Because I got an understanding of this business. I'm very, very patient. I'm not rushing for anything. What God has for me and for us, we're going to have if we are focused. And that I am. I'm laser locked in. I'm laser focused. There's no games. There's no digital gimmicks. I'm the same one did 50 corner classes in 3 years, came to the inner city, to the hood, and held it down. Same one did a 24-hour corner class right on the west side of Atlanta on Lee and Abernathy. 12 classes in 24 hours, a class every other hour for 24 hours straight from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. Somebody said on a YouTube blog that was a gimmick. Me sacrificing 24 hours of my life and my time to stay up to teach our community. It was promotional. Yeah, I was promoting what I have to offer the world. I was promoting my service, as I should. And if my businesses can profit, if my books can sell because of it, why would you not want to support me? Why is it wrong to be an entrepreneur? That's what we preach, right? Power, entrepreneurship, breaking the rat race, breaking the chains, beating the corporate trap. So when someone begins to have ingenuity and is a business owner and exchanges a product, good, or service in exchange for compensation, which is what all business is an exchange of compensation for a product, a good, or a service. Why would you mad at your brother for doing that and doing good business? If you don't like the business I do, just don't support that particular business. I don't like all y'all business. I think some of y'all business models are too cheap, too expensive, not my style, not my taste, whatever. But I don't have to. Point being is we have a real opportunity that we're playing with. And that's how I feel. That's my honest truth. I'm cool. We're going to do. I have been developing real estate, building businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses, done 3 of them already. I've been doing that for years and will continue to do it. I don't need the fund to do it. I don't need the fund to feed my family. I don't need the fund to be influential. I don't need the fund to be who I've been already before the fund in life. But we have an opportunity to get past our ego, our pride, our mistrust, and our self-hate to be able to go control $1 billion, 50 million. Leverage that billion for 5 million, 5 billion, excuse me, and go do all the things we say we want to do. But some of us are more talkers than doers, and we're talking about even if it was $500 our minimum, that still will be 25 million. We haven't reached that yet in over 6 months with all these followers and impressions. What's so hard about investing your discretionary capital, the money that you're not even thinking about anyway, the money you just blew on some liquor? What's so hard about investing that, partnering, getting equity and ownership in our future, in a model that will help us prove other models that will help us to go 20 funds deep to manage $1 billion? What's the problem? What's really the problem? And don't try to say it's me or my track record or none of that. I'm here. I've been here. Been proven, been brilliant, been successful, and been bounced back from prison, from bankruptcy, from everything else that you can think of and read about and everything else. I'm here. And you're there. And you're there. And we got an opportunity to be here together. It's mad simple. Like, we make stuff mad. Yo, I'm a simplest. Like, you know, it don't gotta be that hard for real. It could actually be pretty easy. We get in our own way. We don't even believe, like, sometimes you've been beat up for so long, you're scared to see what it's like on the other side. Like, man, if we really do this without 50 million, then we can't blame they no more. It's not their fault. The system, the man, they have the power. They did this. They're why we can't. No, we're why. They ain't stopping us from putting our $1,000 discretionary capital together, 50,000 of us, and having 50 million overnight. They ain't stopping us. I could wake up tomorrow morning, we got $50 million in a Tulsa real estate fund for us to go develop in our ideas, our concepts, our developments, our businesses. They ain't stopping us. We're stopping us. tulsa-real-estate-fund.com for those who want to take action. Simple as that. Website, I'll give it to you. Why talk it if we ain't gonna make no actions? tulsa-real-estate-fund.com. Create an account. Follow the prompts. It might not be 1,000 for you. It might be 10,000 that you know you just can invest. 5,000, 2,500, 1,100, 1,300, 700, 500. Might be 25,000. It might be 100,000 you know you can invest that you believe in having ownership equity with us, owning more shares, and building these legendary assets with us. Anyway, That's my lecture, my motivational talk, my speech, my thoughts. It's really just my honest thoughts, honestly. How I've been feeling. And I'm going to post more about it. I want you guys to repost what I post. Share this in your own way. Share from my page. Share from your Facebook, Instagram. Like, we got to, I just believe in solutions. Like, I believe you don't have to depend on others for what you can do for yourself. It's like we're refusing to do it for ourselves. We don't got to depend on nobody. I just created an economic infrastructure and system, a business model. I use my smarts and my genius to be able to create a business model that is for us. That's a win-win. 8% interest compared to where your money at is probably a win. 50% interest is probably a win. Owning equity, probably a win. It's a win-win. Get past the self-hate and stop blaming they. Let's do us. All right, so with that, we'll take some question and answers for 10 or so minutes, and I'm going to get out of here and get back to my more work, my focus, and my patience, and my understanding. What we got? Tulsa Talk Thursday, every Thursday. Peace.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Valium.
What would be to enterprise my last name and then invest in the Tulsa real estate? Like, I was thinking about doing that, but I just wasn't sure if that's like the right thing to do. I didn't want to invest in it like under my name. You know what I mean? I feel like I was going to start maybe an investment fund for my family and do it like that.
Yeah, so for those who want to invest as a company or a fund, we had to change our stipulations. The minimum for investment for a company is $25,000. As an individual, the minimum is $500. So, yeah. So if you want to do $25,000, which we'll be happy to, that'd be an investment through a company. But as an individual, here's the thing though. As an individual, you can transfer your shares to an heir, right? Or put it in your will, or just do a transfer at any point if you want to do it for like a family member in the future or for your heirs in the future.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What we got? Next caller, or IG, or Facebook?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I kind of have a question. I've been a realtor for about 3 years. I'm 21 now, and I've kind of been like paying for all the marketing and everything myself. And like I'm kind of torn as to if I should keep doing it because I've managed to make enough to where I don't have to work anymore. I can do it full time, but it just doesn't feel like I'm making enough to like invest and do other things. And I just want to just like get your advice on what I should do.
All right. So is your question about should you continue a career as a realtor, or are you saying quit that job and do something else, or you have another job and a realtor?
Yeah. Well, as a deeper question, do you think I should join like a team of agents and have them pay for marketing, or just keep doing it solo until I can save enough money?
Well, let's get to the first question first. Do you have a full-time job and you're a real estate agent, or are you just a real estate agent as a full-time job?
Right now, I'm doing real estate full time.
Gotcha. And so you're asking about your ability to expand as an agent?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a little tip. That question and my suggestion to you would be to look into our school, the Jay-Morrison Academy. We have mentorship calls every Wednesday that answer business building, real estate building, revenue building questions. We say kind of Tulsa questions more specific to Tulsa. But for your business, in regards to that dual team or partnership versus your marketing expenses, that's going to be a function of you really evaluating the numbers. So if you're going to become a part of a team and you guys are going to split marketing, then you have to look at how much revenue are you splitting also, right, from that team.
Yeah.
And if you guys working together will make you more profits than you investing by yourself. So just don't think about the investment of cost. Oh yeah, I get to take less of a risk or less burden on my marketing dollars. But yeah, you're also making less profit as well. Now, if you feel you can be more profitable because of the strength of that team or your collective power, then for sure do it. But if you can't calculate or analyze or have any kind of data that shows you, and I believe in data, that shows you where you'll be more profitable, then I would definitely second guess that. But again, that's a mentorship question, a coaching question, or something you can call in if you want a one-on-one consultation on how to build your business.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And for all of our education services, guys, it's jay-morrison-academy.com. That's J-A-Y, the number 13 fastest growing education company in the country per Inc. magazine. Next question.
Hello, Mr. Morrison.
Yes, Queen. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Calling from Jersey.
Jersey in the house.
I wanted to know more about the abandoned buildings. Like you said, the first step is to gain an understanding. So once I've gained the understanding, what would be the next course of action in terms of actually acquiring, like either an abandoned lot or an abandoned property? Like, how would I go about doing, like, getting an actual property? Like, okay, here's the first step.
Great question, Queen. So for all my callers, what's your name, Queen?
Juliet.
All right. So for all my callers with similar questions and concerns as Queen Juliet, I'm interested in investing in real estate, whether it be abandoned properties, it be short sales, it be foreclosures, it be distressed properties, it be tax liens, it be apartment buildings, any of those things, right?
Apartment buildings specifically, like the course is about.
Correct. So what I'm saying is that when I say gain an understanding, and this is my advice to you, for all of you who want to learn what's my next steps, I have a 12-step real estate crash course. Right? It's actually called a 12-step real estate entrepreneur crash course. If not this, I have a beginner's course for those who may not want to get into the higher level, but want to learn wholesaling real estate, flipping, holding, being a landlord, and financing. You can go to our beginner's course. Both courses are at jay-morrison-academy.com. I'm telling you that because your next step, Queen, is multiple steps. Your next step when you see that abandoned building is evaluating the building. It's figuring out an offer with the owner of the building. But before you can even do that, you need to build your team. You need to have your company. You need to have your experts around you. You need to have a general understanding of the business. So if you don't know what your next steps are, that means you don't have an understanding of the business yet. And so I'm pointing you in the direction of where you can take a 6.5-hour course with full workbook, quizzes, tests, and everything. The 12-step crash course. This will give you your understanding of the business you truly need. And then you'll know exactly what to do, not just the next step, but the step after that as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Queen. And if anybody wants to call our school, the number's 1-844-JOIN-JMA. And I want to disclose this as well. 1-844-JOIN-JMA. I don't promote our school for personal interest. It's so hard for me, like I don't even want to tell you about it. But I can't promote someone else's education because I can't vouch for it. But what I do know is that you cannot learn all what's needed in this industry by a YouTube video or two or by reading a book. You need real mentorship. You need a real curriculum. You need real education. And you guys need to get a real understanding. It just comes from learning. You got to put some time in. There's no way you're going to get 15 years of knowledge of experience in a 15-minute video or an hour-and-a-half class. You got to literally take this business serious and believe that it's more to this business than just the surface level you know. And most people want to try to cheat the business like real estate ain't that deep. And again, it's not rocket science, but it still deserves a proper understanding. of financing, of management, of business formation, of underwriting, of acquisitions, of holding, of branding, of marketing, of negotiations, of terms, of vocabulary. It requires an understanding. Next question.
Yes, I have a question. I want to know if does the company itself help other people like myself that have property that I want to get and turn into a business? Do they do the company invest in that to help the person with their family portfolio?
Yes, ma'am. I'm so glad you asked that. Thank you, Queen. I want to make sure I draw an arrow to this for everyone. So, guys, if you go to our website, tulsa-real-estate-fund.com, right? If you go to our website, you're also going to see a Submit a Deal tab. If you all have deals, right, you can submit them to us. You can submit your deals, your opportunities, if you inherited land, if you have identified property, if you're a seasoned sponsor, or you're looking for a capital partner for a deal you already have, you can submit those deals and opportunities to tulsa-real-estate-fund.com. We do want to partner with you. We want to be your capital partner. So with the capital we raise, this is not for us to go acquire everything. I don't want to develop more real estate, to be honest with you. Or I should say, I want to partner in more real estate. I want to fund more real estate. I want to be a funding source and capital source for more real estate than I do actually want to do the details of acquiring. But I don't want to partner with people that don't have an understanding and don't have credibility or don't have experience or don't have knowledge in the industry. Now, if you don't have knowledge but you want to partner with us, we'll look at either buying your deal from you, seeing a referral fee. We'll look at something else, but we're not going to coach you through a deal with this much capital and reputational risk on the line. But submit your deal, and we will see how we can economically compensate you for your deal or pair you with an experienced partner, and we'll help you from there. But we won't go into full-blown coaching mode. That's the Jay Morrison Academy for those who want one-on-one coaching. If you want me to one-on-one coach you on buying apartment buildings, developing businesses, raising capital, developing whatever, then you go to jay-morrison-academy.com. You have to apply for my one-on-one coaching, and then we can see how I can help you there. But if anyone wants to submit a deal, an opportunity, tulsa-real-estate-fund.com. Please submit your deals, and we'd love to take interest and see what you guys have that we can partner in.
Okay.
Thank you, Queen. Yep.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Morris,
Yes, sir.
how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Can you speak up, please?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
I hear you better. Thank you.
Okay. I'm 25 years old. I was wondering, like, 'cause I know you said you came from the streets and whatnot, and it ain't really nothing to put 1,000 aside, in this lifestyle to fund that. So my question is, I'm getting mine, setting my coins to the side. I've already signed up for the classes and whatnot, but I just wanna know, like, why more celebrities or whatnot, because you got a big platform. Why isn't more people like rushing in to help you on this? Not even help. Why is nobody else more enthused about putting in on this?
That's a great question. My reason why I believe more celebrities, influencers, and so-called activists or community-oriented, unify, baller, blow money fast, money ain't a thing, whatever you come, why there's not more activity in Tulsa, I think it's just a lack of understanding. Like, our community doesn't come from a financial place. Very rarely do you see a black man, not a black man with some swag, a black man that's not a college super degree, a black man that comes from the streets that has put together a financial institution and has these type of real estate development skills. And so it just seems like, I don't know, I seem a little too good to be true. Like, if I was a rapper, they'd be cool. If I built a record label, they'd be cool. If I built a clothing line, they'd be cool. But to see somebody, one of us, in the finance space, in the real estate space, it's like, I don't know, bro, God might be up to something because you can't believe that we can be this smart. That's what it boils down to.
But it blows my mind because, you know, real recognize real, and like I'm nowhere near the people that I know you rub shoulders with. So I'm wondering, like, are they more intimidated by what you're trying to do for us, or is the world really this corrupt so they don't want to help us?
I think it's a little of both. I think the other thing is self-hate and personal interest. It's like, dang, if I really get behind Jay. Now, and some people are like, yo, bro, it's the people that help behind the scenes. They've literally invested, but they're scared to put their name on it because of their reputational risk. They said, bro, I'll be your biggest fan on the sideline, but I can't put my name on it right now because if something go wrong, my PR, my publicists, my managers, they all looking at me crazy right now. And so many of them are scared of those kind of risk, although they'll go get with other major brands who might be pedophiles and all other kind of other stuff. But when it comes to participate, you know what I mean? So that's a little bit of the self-hate, the lack of understanding. And also, at the end of the day, if some people know if they give their full support, we'd raise 50, 100, 250 million, which is $250 million. Now it's like, damn, here I am rapping. I'm rapping, or I'm an entertainer, I'm a baller, and I'm talking about all the money I got. And now here we go, Jay controlling and the fund's controlling 250 million. And now it's an ego thing. When really I don't have no ego, I do it all for us. It don't matter. So those are just some of the psychological battles that we have to fight in order to reach our full potential.
Wow, man. Well, I appreciate that insight. Because like I said, man, I've been following you, and I've been puzzled, bro. Because I've been like since you started your email, I've been getting them, bro. And when I got the money, I signed up, and I'm just puzzled. Like, bro, I know all these rappers, they buying chains and buying all this extra shit. Why they not trying to help us, bro? You know what I'm saying? I only see people like you, and then the Mark Flip Houses dude. Like, it's only a few of y'all really trying to help us, bro. And that's what's killing me. Like,
but listen, you heard what Hov said. Less is more. There's plenty of us. We gotta know. We don't need everybody. We don't need everybody. 50,000 of us, 100,000 of us, 250,000 of us could go do work. We don't need everybody. It's cool. They're going to come along when it's their time. But I appreciate your support, your love, and your call tonight. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
tulsa-real-estate-fund.com. Become a partner tonight. Go do it. Go own some equity. Come own some real estate with us tonight.
Hello, King.
Peace, King.
Hey, this is Ryan from Baltimore.
What's up, B-More?
Hey, what's up, man? I wanted to say congratulations to you, man. If you're white, all success to you, man. I'm part of the team, man. I'm glad to be a part of the team.
I'm glad to have you with us.
TREF life, man.
TREF life for life. You already know.
My question, I don't want to hold you up. My question is, I wanted to know, do you need multiple LLCs to put in offers for foreclosure homes?
Oh, I don't think so. Nope.
So I can use the same LLC if I'm assigning it?
You could, unless you plan on selling that LLC.
Oh, I thought my knowledge was once the person buys it, you sell the LLC with it.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's multiple ways to assign. There's 3 different ways to assign. So I'm saying that if your strategy, the assignment strategy is to sell the LLC, then you would want a new LLC so that if it's sold, it's a dummy LLC or a sellable LLC, right? But
okay.
So yeah, that's your strategy. Yeah, but I'm saying there's multiple strategies. So I'm going off, again, my knowledge base of knowing. I'm not sure how what's your exit strategy.
Okay, so either or I could do it, either or use spaces where I needed to know.
Yeah. But if you know you're gonna be if you know your plans to sell the company, then I would do it under a dummy company, if you will. Or I'd do all of them under a dummy company. If one gets traction, then I'll assign that to another. So I wouldn't create it's either way. You can create a bunch of companies if you got the capital to do so and just use them as you go along, or create them as you need them and just assign the main LLC's interest to the dummy company and then sell that dummy company to the end buyer. And again, that's a mentorship moment. We do a mentorship on Wednesdays, JMA. I just gave you that because you're from Baltimore and I love BMO.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I understand this business. This business light work, man. This ain't rocket science. Trust me, I've done harder things in my life than flip houses. Trust me. Than build buildings, than move these bricks. A lot more complicated things in life. What else we got? Next caller, IG, Facebook. Or we gonna wrap up? What time is it? It's about that time I feel it.
15.
Oh, snap, we over. All right. Last two questions on call or IG. What we got? Anything? Going once. Going twice. Hello.
Mine is clear, okay?
All right. Love y'all, man. Toast Talk Thursdays. Every Thursday. Hope you got some value out of tonight. More importantly, man, I really hope that thousands of us can continue to get together. Now, I appreciate the support and the success of what we already accomplished. Shout out to Queen Tamara, our moderator for tonight out of B-More. Always so gracious. She is a true queen. Thank you so much for King Gene, King Hav, holding us down on the video editing, visual, audio, technology side to make all this work. So many lights, speakers, cameras, etc. Thank you all. Thanks to every partner, investor, and I'm excited because I believe at some point, whether it's 30,000, 50,000, however many of us, we're gonna max out this first fund. We're gonna go into fund 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the next 5 years, we will have at least 20 funds and $1 billion of assets under management. I believe, I believe like I believed in the first fund. I believe like I believed in JMA. I believe like I believe in the corner class. I believe like I believed in my first flip at 15. I just believe. I believe in the impossible, and that's just what I'm about. And I understand that if I have an understanding of a business model, of a function, of a strategy, of a hustle, whatever you want to call it, if I understand how something works and the inner workings of it, and I'm patient and I'm focused, I believe that I can't be stopped. And especially when I believe that something is a vision that was called, ordained, or inspired by God, and inspired by good social change, and inspired by all the great things in the world. I believe the universe is going to open up and reward us and reward me. And I understand there's risk here. I have to give you disclosures as a fund manager that nothing's guaranteed and things can go wrong and all of that. So I'll continue to say that to make sure that I'm not, over hyping or over exaggerating or anything. Again, I want to stay in compliance. I don't want no problem with them people. But end of the day, I believe in what we're doing. I believe in us. I believe in our ancestors. I believe in greatness. I believe in overcoming. I believe in it being an overachiever. I believe in beating the odds. I'm one of them folks. I'm living proof. And together we can be living proof that 50,000 of us can get together, put 1,000 in the same way we go half on bottles in the club and on shoes and birthday gifts and Valentine's Day. You about to spend $500 to $1,000 on Valentine's Day. And here we have an opportunity to go own assets, man, and really be in love for life. Be in love with some legacy and some assets and our last name and doing something epic and historic that our children's be proud of. This is epic. This is historic. And watch how these assets come. Watch these announcements. Watch these acquisitions. Watch how your brother gets busy in this firm and this fund and this team and this staff and a beautiful and smart and brilliant wife I'm supported by. Watch how we get busy. Thank y'all. Love y'all, man. It's TREF Life for Life. See you next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern.